First, giving all praises, honor, and glory to our Father, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Mashiach, Yahweh Shai. All praises due. Double honors to our King, KD, and our Shepherd of the Royal House of David. The Water King for your love, for your care, and the Water King for edifying us and waking us up to the truth and knowledge of who we are as Hebrew Israelites. All praises, the Water King. So my name is Mihir Malachi, and welcome again to the Daughters with Daggers channel. This is our Aquath channel where we continuously seek edification from the truth of the scriptures. So we're going back, this is part 2 of 1 Corinthians chapter 11, where we ended off on, I was speaking about our character, about the differences of today from, the time of the Church of Corinth. With our society today, I was talking about the head wraps. You definitely can. No one's saying not to, no one's saying to, okay? It's your choice and option. However, because of, you got the Muslims, you got the Hamites, we got all kind of different people that are now wearing it because it became a fad. It changes. It hasn't, it's hard to now decipher who is who and who we believe in. And the only way to do that is based off our character, our faith, our belief, our trust in Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. That's how we are to be separated from, the women now that don't believe in our power. So let me give us that distinguish us from separating us from everyone else. So let's get a precept. Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 7. 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 7. First Samuel 16 and 7. And it reads, "But the Lord said unto Samuel, Look not on his countenance or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord seeth not as man seeth. For man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart." Okay, New Living Translation of that. "But the Lord said to Samuel, Don't judge by his appearance or height, for I have rejected him." The Lord doesn't see the things the way that we see things, that you see things, right? The way you see them. People judge by outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. Okay. So here's another modern day example of that. So if I was to put on some high heel boots, some G-string underwear, and a halter top, okay, and I'll go walk around my block, go outside and just walk around the block, they're going to think that I'm hooking, right? They're going to think I'm one of these temple prostitutes. And I would bring shame to KD if I did that. That is equivalent to the shaved head in Corinth, okay? So that's I want to give you a modern day example of that, okay? We're not doing those things. So you don't have to worry about that because that's a part of our character. We know how to put some clothes on, and we know how to act, right? We should. I hope so. Okay, so let's go back to 1 Corinthians chapter 11. 1 Corinthians chapter 11, and we're at verse 16. "But if any man seem to be contentious, we have no such custom, neither. The church is of power." Okay, New Living Translation, "But if anyone wants to argue about this, I simply say that we have no other custom than this, and neither do powers other churches." So if you want to argue, is what he's saying about this, we don't have any other customs. We don't have anything else. This goes for everybody. So this is how we tell the difference, okay? This is how the difference is noted. So let's go to verse 17. "Now in this I declare unto you, I praise you not, that ye come together not for the better, but for the worse." So Paul had no respect for what was happening in Corinth. He was disgusted about the church of Corinth. He was, it was an abomination, okay? They were engaging in sexual promiscuity. They were dealing with drunkenness. They were doing all kind of stuff. They were spiraling all out of control. They were doing all kind of wicked stuff, all kind of horrible stuff. Nothing where power was getting the glory out of anything. They even had statues, when I mentioned posted about Aphrodite. Now, Aphrodite, she's a Greek goddess who was associated with erotic pleasures and sexuality. Okay, they worshipped her. That's how, this place was, how bad this place was. So verse 18 of 1 Corinthians 11. For first of all, when ye come together in the church, I hear that there be divisions among you. I partly believe it. For there must be also heresies among you, that they which are approved may be made manifest among you. Okay. New Living Translation. But of course, there must be divisions among you so that you who have power's approval will be recognized. Okay. Hebrew Israelites were separated and recognized by power from the other Israelites who were causing division. Okay, that's happening now. We have a separation that's happening. We have people that are being pushed aside, cast out. We have people that, we're seeing a separation now. And we just witnessed that just recently with when Katie did the video about the young man Khalil. He was very divisive. So he was, causing a separation. Now, just putting this disclaimer here, I have to say that you have a choice. Everybody has a free will. Everyone has a choice to choose and do what it is that you choose and want to do. You have the right to choose and believe in who you want to believe in. You have the right to choose of who you want to listen to and who you don't want to listen to. Power gave her that. Okay. So no one is holding or forcing anyone to be here. Okay. And no one's saying that, so it's a choice. However, I know for me in my house, we believe in Yahweh Yahweh Shai. I know for me in my house, our king and shepherd is KD. Okay. And we are with the royal house of David. All praises to Yahweh Yahweh Shai. But we have to have these divisions. It says it here in his word. We have to have them because it shows who is approved and it shows who is not. Okay. It shows who's about Yahweh Yahweh Shai and it shows who is not. So divisions have to happen. We've seen it happen, during the time of Paul and Corinth. So there's nothing new under the sun, right? Paul had the same problems as we see now. Nothing's changed. So let's go to 1 Corinthians 11 and 20. When ye come together, therefore, into one place, this is not to eat the Lord's Supper. So they entered into, they pretended when they came that they were coming for the Lord's Supper, but that's not the reason that they came. That's not the reason that they were there. We see that now within our body. There are people holding on in here to see what really is going to happen, if something's really going to happen or not. They're not here because of power. They're not here for Yahweh Yahweh Shai. They're here because they're trying to see what it is that they're going to get. What's going to happen to them. What can they get out of it? They're just holding on for that, but they're not holding on to know that we're going to have to work. We're going to have to build this kingdom back. We're going to have to, we're going to be worshiping our power. We're going to be focused on regenerating, repopulating our kingdom, right? But everyone's looking for the other stuff, want to see what kind of house they gonna get, what kind of car they gonna get, they're looking at the materialistic things of that they're thinking that they're gonna get, instead of looking at, hey, you got eternal life. You're gonna be with the power. You're gonna be with Yahweh Shai for eternity. You're gonna be with your family for eternity, and we're gonna get our kingdom back, and it's not gonna be of this wicked world. It's gonna be a world of peace and joy, where we worship and where we're building together. All praises. Okay. Verse 21. For in eating every one taketh before other his own supper, and one is hungry and another is drunken. So showing up with the BS. They were supposed to show up for the Lord's Supper. However, they only came to eat and get drunk. They came to eat and get drunk. I know some family members like that. They didn't come for the fellowship. They didn't come to enjoy. They come to eat, get them to go trays and take the food home and get the free drink. They didn't come for to fellowship with the family. It had nothing to do with power. It had nothing to do with Yahweh Yahweh Shai. Nothing at all. Okay. Verse 22. What? Have ye not houses to eat and drink? This is Paul, okay, talking to them. Or despise ye the church of power, and shame them that have not? What shall I say to you? Shall I praise you in this? I praise you not. New Living Translation. What? Don't you have your own homes for eating and drinking? Like, can't you do that at home? Or do you really want to disgrace Power's church and shame the poor? What am I supposed to say? Do you want me to praise you? Well, I certainly will not praise you for this. And what it says about shaming the poor, because these were people that had privilege, right? They had money. So they were eating up all the food. They were drinking up all the drink, yet the poor had to watch this, okay? They didn't have anything to eat. You know, they were hungry, but they didn't eat because they took it all from them. So Paul has no respect for them and what they have done. He was disgusted. Some people did not even have food. I mentioned the poor. They were watching them eat up everything, and they were eating in front of them. You know, they're sitting there, they're hungry. I'm quite sure their stomachs was growling, and they like, you know, you don't. This is mine. This is, you know, I'm drinking this all, eat it all, because, you know, they were, like I said, they were people of privilege. Paul was rebuking them. When he said, don't you have a home to eat at and drink at? Don't you have you can do that at home. This is not what we hear. This is not the purpose. It's not a party. Okay, we're not here to party. Do that at your home and not in the Most High's temple. This is not the place for this. This is not the time for this. This was supposed to be a time that everyone was welcome and fed and remember Yahushua. It's not a time to come and eat and get full. It was a time to, you know, grab a little something and worship and celebrate and praise. Okay, Yahweh. Why Yahushua? I mean, remember Salat. Remember Yahushua, Salat, during this time. Okay, it wasn't about our personal gratification. So let's go to, we're at verse 23. So 1 Corinthians chapter 11, I'm at verse 23. For I have received of the Lord that which also I delivered unto you, that the Lord Yahushua, the same night in which he was betrayed, took bread. And when he had given thanks, he brake it and said, take, eat, this is my body, which is broken for you. This do in remembrance of me. Verse 25. After the same manner, also he took the cup when he had supped, saying, this cup is the New Testament in my blood. This do ye as oft as ye drink it in remembrance of me. Verse 26. For as often as ye eat this bread and drink this cup, ye do show the Lord's death till he come. All praises. So the Lord's Supper was supposed to be spiritual. It's spiritual. And it wasn't about eating. It wasn't about getting drunk. It wasn't about getting full. What the church of Corinth was doing was not giving reverence to Yahushua. That's what it was for. It was to give reverence to Yahushua. The bread and the fruit of the vine was symbolic of his body and blood. Okay. It wasn't, like I said, it wasn't supposed to be a party. All right. So, just saying again, the bread and the fruit of the vine, which is, you know, the fruit of the vine was symbolic of his body, and it was symbolic of his blood. Okay. All praises. So let's go to verse 27. 1 Corinthians 11 and 27. Wherefore whosoever shall eat this bread and drink this cup of the Lord unworthily shall be guilty of the body and the blood of the Lord. Now let's go to New Living Translation for that. So anyone who eats this bread or drinks this cup of the Lord unworthily is guilty of sinning against the body and blood of the Lord. They were eating and drinking unworthily and was not giving reference to Yahushua. Okay. So they sinned against the Lord. So let's go to verse 28. But let a man examine himself, and so let him eat of that bread and drink of the cup. For he that eateth and drinketh unworthily eateth and drinketh damnation to himself, not discerning the Lord's body. Verse 30. For this cause many are weak and sickly among you, and many sleep. Okay, New Living Translation for that. That is why many of you are weak and sick, and some have even died. Okay, this is Paul. So you can lose your life coming into the Most High's congregation with a wicked spirit and not examining yourself. You are not discerning the word's body. You can also end up sick. Let's go to Numbers chapter 3, and we're going to read 3 through 4. So present time, modern time, similar situation. We have to make sure that we're examining ourselves every day. We have to make sure our minds is renewed each and every day, every moment. We got to make sure that we're focused on the prize, which is eternal life, which is being with our Father, which is, as women, being ready to birth and bring forth children to rebuild the kingdom. Okay, so let's go to Numbers chapter 3, and we're going to read 3 through 4. Numbers 3 through 4. And it reads, "These are the names of the sons of Aaron, the priests, which were anointed, whom he consecrated to minister in the priest's office. And Nadab and Abihu died before the Lord when they offered strange fire before the Lord in the wilderness of Sinai. And they had no children. And Eleazar and Ithamar ministered in the priest's office in the sight of Aaron, their father." Okay. They were killed for playing. Okay, they were playing. Killed for bringing wickedness into the congregation of the Most High. A perfect example of that is Crap the News was an example. Crap the News. He was teaching false doctrine. He was leading people the wrong way. He was bringing forth wickedness by teaching the false doctrine. And look what happened. Okay. Look what happened to him because of that. He faced his judgment on that. In the same way that Nadab and Abihu faced their judgment as well. So let's go back to 1 Corinthians chapter 11, and we're at verse 31. Chapter 11, verse 31. And it reads, "For if we would judge ourselves, we should not be judged. But when we are judged, we are chastened of the Lord, that we should not be condemned with the world. Some are going to get chastened that will not be condemned of the world." The chastening is not condemning them. Okay, it's to get them back on track. Remember, power chasing those that he loves. Okay, he loves us. That's why we're in this captivity. That's why we had to go through it, because we're disobedient. We had to face our chastening. And our chastening was to get us back on track. Our chastening was to get us woken back up, to get us back woke to the truth and knowledge of who we are and who he is. Okay, our praises. Now we are verse 33. "Wherefore, my brethren, when ye come together to eat, tarry one for another. And if any man hunger, let him eat at home, that ye come not together unto condemnation, and the rest will I set in order when I come." I'm going back to 33, New Living Translation. "So, my dear brothers and sisters, when you gather for the Lord's Supper, wait for each other. Do it together. Okay? Do it as one. Okay? Verse 34, "If you are really hungry, eat at home." Okay, so you won't bring judgment upon yourselves when you meet together. I'll give you instructions about the other matters after I arrive. So he's saying here, if you're hungry, you want to get all drunk, you want to do that at home. Okay, the place, the body, that's not where you need to be done. When it's time to focus, which our mind should always be stayed on power. And when it's time, we need to make sure that our focus is on our Father. Okay, our focus when we are studying with our shepherd, our focus is our Father. When we have our Bible studies, and when he's teaching, when he's edifying in a video, when we're reading a video, when we're reading our word, or listening to the edification through video, our focus is power. Our minds should be on power. We should be all on one accord. And that's our minds being on Yahweh Yahweh Shai. Okay? So we just read 1 Corinthians chapter 11 in its entirety. We are dealing with these things today. Make no mistake, though. I don't want us to, to where people are confused about who you are. I don't want people to be confused about who we are. Okay? This means judge yourself. We got to judge ourselves. I do it all the time. Before I leave the house, before I do anything, I ask my king, how do I look? Is I'm okay? He gives me his thumbs up. If it's not something, he give me a thumbs down. Be like, Mama, let's try again. Check yourself and make sure your character exudes and separates you without any question from anybody else. Okay? Don't let anybody question your character or your personality or who you are. We are Hebrew Israelite princesses. We are elite. We are joint heirs to the kingdom. We are elect women. We are chosen women. He woke us up to this truth and knowledge of who we are. So we got to represent him like that. We got to represent our men of the Lord with honor. Okay? We're separate. We're not the same. We're different. When it comes time to break bread, remember, it is not a party. It is a time to reference our brother, Yahweh Shai, the sacrifice that he made so that we would not perish and we would have everlasting life. He did that for us, okay? He did that for us. I pray, sisters, that you keep the faith. And I'm praying that you keep your mind stayed on Yahweh Yahweh Shai. He is real and he is coming back soon. If you have not been watching and looking at the times things happen around you, the prophecies are being fulfilled, all that stuff is happening right now. Okay, all praises to Yahweh Yahweh Shai. I love you. I pray all is well. Shalom to you, sisters. I have another video coming, and I will talk to you soon. Love you. Peace and blessings, sisters. All praises to Yahweh Yahweh Shai. All praises due.